Welcome back to Fork This City. This is episode 5, and today we're getting opinionated as always. If you're new here, this is a podcast where we break down New York City restaurants honestly, what's worth the hype, what's not, and everything in between. First up, we're talking about our experience at Salt Hanks, including a 1 hour wait in actual freezing temperatures, and whether the French dip was worth sacrificing our circulation for. Then we're playing Fork Yeah or Fork No, breaking down green flags and red flags of New York City restaurants. And finally, we're joined by Benji, the co-founder of Benji's Buns in the West Village, to talk all things cinnamon rolls, from flavor development to what it really takes to run a food business in New York City. Let's get into it. I'm your co-host Josh Einbinder, joined alongside Gabby Martin.
Hello, I'm Gabby Martin, aka Instagrubs on Instagram. So, we're going to jump right into it with our first review. We are going to be talking about the viral French dip place that is everyone talking, which is Salt Hanks in the West Village. As I always say, French dip is making a comeback. Everyone is talking about French dip from the corner store, Salt Hanks, Monkey Bar.
Or
Everyone thinks they
Charles.
for Charles too. Everyone thinks they have the best French dip. So we are here to tell you today if Salt Hanks is worth it for you.
Start kind of where it all began, which is getting in line at
In the line,
10:45 in the morning. It was freezing. I'm talking
freezing.
below 30. It had to have been like 20, 21
I think it was
degrees.
22, felt like 17.
Yeah, that's freezing cold. And we ended up waiting. The store opens at 11:30, but we didn't get
Mm.
into what, 11:50, give or take?
Yeah, and I was under the impression it opened at 11. So finding out at 10:45 that we had to wait until 11:30 was really unfortunate for
But what's
me.
what's nuts though is we got there 10:30, no one there. No line. We go,
Yeah,
we
so
go to get
Josh calls me.
coffee,
He's like, "No one's there. We're going to be first in line."
and we go to get coffee, we come back, 15, 20 people in line already. By the time we
Yeah.
got not even moved up in the line. By the time the restaurant opened at 11:30, the line was wrapped around the block. It
So
had to be
long.
maybe 100 people already at that point.
Yeah, like you had to do what we did. If we got there a second later, or we could have been like 10 people behind us, because I think those 10 like ate at the same time as us. If you were like 11, if you were the 11th person behind us, you were screwed. You were not eating for a really long time. So let's talk about the line for a little bit. So Josh has a lot of opinions about things that Salt Hanks could have done to make our experience better online. I just want to say that I don't necessarily co-sign with all of the suggestions Josh is about to give, but I'm going to let him share them with you all anyway. And then I'm going to talk about my own personal experience in line, which differs from Josh's.
So, first off, you're a Florida girl, so I understand the cold is not something that you love, but growing up here, one, the cold's not usually an issue for me. Having said that, I do think it's a really nice thing to do if you're a restaurant, especially a viral one that makes people wait outside, to give out a little something, one, to get people excited, but two, to take care of your customers. It was so cold. It would have been nice if they came out with hot chocolate. I know that's not on their menu. I know they don't make that, but hot
Or
chocolate,
tea.
hand warmers, tea, even like a Salt Hanks pin to thank everyone for
A
waiting.
pin.
I just think small gestures go a really long way, especially for me. And shout out to Salt Hank. Really great job, like going from kind of like a viral content creator to making this spot that everyone's talking about. But to me, if it were my spot, like I would want to take care of my customers. I know things cost money. I feel like I've said that so many times on this pod, but at the end of the day, it's such a small gesture. And I think it really would be awesome, especially on cold days like yesterday. It doesn't have to be every day, but maybe if it's below 30 degrees, you throw a bone to people waiting in line.
What are you going to hand out at Transparency, the Fork Your City restaurant?
Well, one, I would never make anyone wait outside because we wouldn't be that kind of restaurant. I'd make it very clear we're reservations only, but I don't want to
Oh.
be like Fort Charles where it's impossible to get a reservation. Like you'll be,
Yeah, but if we get hype, which obviously we would,
right.
what would you do?
It's a great question. I'd have to build a second location. And shout out to the person who commented on TikTok and said we should call it socially anxious introvert. And that location could be walk-ins only. And maybe we could buy like a huge location so we could host like 100 tables at a time.
Wait, that's so funny. I think we should explain the context a little more. So, Josh posted on our socials about his restaurant called Transparency. And basically, he said he would give people the option to either be over communicated with or under communicated with and to be left alone. So, someone commented that we should essentially call our other restaurant where you are under communicated with the social anxiety restaurant,
Yeah,
where like they don't talk to you. But Josh took that as us getting a hate comment.
I did.
And it's very funny, but I actually think it's a great idea. So thank you to whoever commented that.
It is a great idea. I don't think I would do that. I think I'll stick to one and call it transparency. But like I said, at transparency, I'd want to take care of my customers. I wouldn't spare any expenses to make sure that one, people feel like the hospitality is at the highest level possible, and
Okay.
two, that people know that the owner is going to look out for them at every
Okay.
location every time.
Okay. I understand your point with this, but they would then have to pay someone to start working before the restaurant opened to do this. That's where I think the problem lays with that.
Well, I actually did see, I think it was an Eater infatuation video that Salt Hanks, the staff there, prepare the meat well in advance of opening. Like their staff there by like 5 or 6 a.m.
Oh, so you're saying send one of them outside.
Hmm.
I don't think they want to do that, but I don't think they need to do that. But I understand that would be nice. And I will say, rumor has it. So at the corner store, they actually do this in the winter. They hand out, I don't know what drink it is, maybe tea. But rumor has it, if you get one of those teas online, it means you're not getting in for the night. So give or take, but it's still a nice thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, moving on to further waiting in line, we didn't realize that it's sit down. I kind of thought it was just a counter where you order and then leave, but there
Yeah.
are tables in there. I don't know how many, but I mean, easily you could probably fit like 40 or 50 people comfortably in there.
Yeah. So we really thought it was like Prince Street Pizza or pop-up bagels where you order, you get what you want, and you can either stand up at like one of the countertops or you leave. That was not the case, and that's what really screwed us over in line is us not realizing that. So when they opened at precisely 11:31, because Josh was paying attention,
Yep.
they started letting in a bunch of people, and like we got pretty close but we didn't get in. So essentially, that was the first seating. So the line didn't move for probably 10 minutes after that because all those people were eating. So how it works is you order when you go in at the counter, like you're still standing up, you order. They give you, was it a ticket or
Yeah,
number?
they gave us a ticket.
And then you go and sit down and then they bring you your food. So since we didn't make it in that first wave of 30 people or the second wave, that's why we waited for a while. We just didn't realize it's a sit down place.
And not only mention that, but um, a hack for people listening is if
Mm.
you're waiting in line, they'll start to ask, is anyone doing takeout? And that's a way you can go in quickly, kind of skip the line a little bit, get your food, and then leave. And they churn out the sandwiches so quickly that you're probably gonna wait like 5 or 10 minutes max once you
Oh, it
order
was
place the
takeout.
order.
Can you order ahead?
I don't think you can
Oh,
because
I was under the impression those people were ordering ahead, but really it was them changing their minds and just saying, oh, let's do takeout. Oh, well,
yeah,
if I were to ever get it again, I don't know. I don't live nearby.
I still wouldn't want to wait in line though because
I
like some of
know.
those people were waiting in line while we were, and then when they're like, "Is anyone doing takeout?" and they were like, "Yeah,
I saw people debating, and I was like, you either ordered ahead or you didn't. But this makes so much more sense now
yeah."
that they made that decision. I think it depends where you live. I don't know how well it travels, right? Like,
Well, we know it doesn't travel well because Jamie got half the sandwich, especially in the cold.
that was a long time
The
after, though.
sandwich got damp. It was cold.
But if you do takeout and like go right home, maybe it'll be
Probably good.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could do takeout 100%. That is a great hack. Don't wait on the line just to sit there unless you want to freeze.
Yep. And then moving on to the actual menu itself, it's pretty bare bones and basic. It's French dip. You can get some other things. I know you guys got the peppers on yours. There's waters, there's a side
Mhm.
of fries. I think there's some sodas and other drinks. In general, I know it's New York City pricing. I thought it was a tad on the pricier side. It's a French dip. I get it. Like I really do. But for what the place is itself, I think $34 is expensive for one.
Yeah, like make it like 25.
Yeah. Even 28. Anything under 30 feels like fine, but 34 and it's only going to go up.
Yeah,
Like
34 is a lot.
it's only going to get more expensive. It was a huge sandwich. And this kind of leads us to our
Yeah,
next
I only
topic
ate a
of
half.
the food itself. It was huge. I only had a half of it. It was really, really good. I thought the
Yeah.
bread was fantastic.
Wait. Okay, before we get to the food, I want to talk about my near death, my experience online. I'm
Yeah.
saying near death, I'm being dramatic, but we're
Yeah.
we're dramatic.
Right.
Um, So yeah, I am a Florida girl through and through. I've never had much trouble with the cold. I've lived in New York. I'm really not one to complain about the weather actually, in that sense, like waiting on a line.
Hmm.
But we were like on, I think, next to go in and order. And we were already freezing by that point. But I remember I looked at you and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And you were like, no, we're going in. And
Yeah.
I was like, I can't feel my hands and toes, which like that's fine. We've all been numb before, but all of a sudden it was just like shooting pain through my like whole body. I
It went
can't
downhill
describe it.
quick. It went downhill
But
quick for
like
you.
I was pacing in front of the door. Remember that? I was pacing in front of the door, like getting out of line, and the guy was like, "You need to stand behind the rope." And I was like, "I can't. I got to keep my feet moving." And shooting pain, and I was like kind of losing my mind. And I was like, "Sorry guys, I'm usually pretty well behaved." And then when we get in and we're ordering, I looked at Jillian. You weren't listening, and I was like, "I'm about to pass out." And she was like, "No, you're not." And I was like, "No, I am." So then she's pointed to the table and said, "Go sit down right now." So like I wasn't even part of the ordering. I don't know if you knew that. Like I already
I
knew what I
didn't.
wanted and Jillian knew. So I went and sat down at the table and put my head on the table and low key like passed out for a second. And then they came back with the food. One of you got me water. I somewhat recovered. But shout out to the au jus sauce. Now we can talk about the food because I
Mm.
used the au jus sauce. It makes a great hand warmer. So essentially, once we got the food really quickly, I didn't let anyone eat for a second because I was putting my fingers that were numb into the au jus sauce. Not in it, but like right on top.
That's a really good transition though, because I actually thought that was my least favorite thing from the meal.
Really?
I did. I don't. Every time I've had au jus, I'm like, it's just like I'm. The taste was off for me, but that doesn't take away from how great the sandwich was. I thought the steak quality was excellent. The one thing I really didn't like were the fries. I ate all of them to the people listening. Like, I ate them. One, I think they're more meant to be like kind of for the sandwich itself, like to add crunch. So in my
I
mind,
said that, but I didn't see anyone doing it.
no. But I feel like they are probably really good to add on to them. But they were too small to pick up. Maybe I just have big hands. I'm not sure. They were
I
really
wouldn't call
small to
them
pick up.
fries.
They might
Like
be
we need to
chips.
include a picture almost of what
Yeah.
they look like. You know those aren't those like chips, like skinny chip things like you can eat look
Yeah.
that look like
And
that? Do
and
you know
they
what I'm
were
talking about?
they had the consistent more of a consistency of a chip. Some of them were soft, but for the most part, many of them were like very hard and crunchy.
Yeah, and I guess I'll share a little bit something personal on the pod. I do not eat French fries. I don't like to share this with people. I understand it's a giant red flag and I should not be running a podcast. However, as a girly who has a little bit of a sensitive stomach,
Hmm.
French fries are on the no-go list. So now you guys know, if you ask me in person, I will not admit it, but I can't speak to the fries basically about any restaurant. So Josh is here for that, but they didn't look good, so I didn't feel upset.
I want to talk scoring. You gave it
Well,
a
wait,
nine.
I didn't get to talk about the French dip.
Oh yeah, what did you think of the French dip?
It was incredible. Guys, it was worth it. I did kind of pass out. I wouldn't wait in that line again. I would do takeout. It was so good. The bread was so hard, so warm. The meat was so good. And I got the like sweet and sour peppers on top, which I was told to add. Really good. They weren't strong at all. Like it wasn't overpowering. I ate the whole half that I got, and it was pretty big.
It was definitely worth the hype,
And
but
I liked the sauce, but more because it saved me from getting my fingers amputated.
yeah, you
Like
kept your
I'm
finger.
very grateful to the au jus sauce yesterday.
So Salt Hank, if you're listening, she kind of
You
owes your
saved
fingers to
me.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gave it a 9.4 on Belly. I gave it a 9.2. I don't think we have to get into like the nuances of why we scored it the way we did. I will say the one thing
Tasted.
I did not like, they don't do boxes at Salt Hank's, only wrappers. So when we had the leftover sandwich, I had to wrap it.
Was it tinfoil?
Yeah,
Uh, who cares?
I care.
I think the
I prefer
tinfoil.
a box.
Wait, actually, pause. I think the tinfoil keeps it more warm than a box
It might
would.
keep it warmer, but it wasn't for me to eat. I just wanted it to be logistically easier for me to carry, and I felt like a box would hold both the au jus and the sandwich better.
Disagree.
It's okay.
We're allowed to disagree.
We are.
Yeah. And back to my almost dying in the restaurant. I didn't think I was going to share this on the pod, but I think it's funny. So me and Jillian, while I couldn't feel my feet, Like, we were kidding, but we weren't. Considered going into the bathroom and putting my feet in the au jus sauce. That's how bad my pain was. And like, we weren't, like, we kind of were considering, what do you, like, we were half joking, but we also weren't. It was that bad.
All I
I
know is
didn't do
that
it though,
that
because I'm
would have
not
made for a great shirt. Like, went
a
to Salt
foot in au
Hanks
jus
and
sauce.
yeah, and put my foot in the au jus.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna share it, but I do think it's a little funny, and I'm sharing it because I didn't do it because I think that's really weird and
Mm.
unacceptable, but it
Hmm.
almost happened.
Nuts.
Okay. Yeah, so overall,
Very good.
worth the hype, delicious, but I would go maybe when it's warmer out.
I would go when it's warmer. I don't think I would go again unless someone brought it for me. I'm not gonna wait in that line again. I can't.
In that weather.
No, I just don't want to wait in that line, period.
Oh, I would in the summer. I'm the Florida girl, so if
It
it's hot, that's
it would be
I can stand
easier.
it.
Yeah, it would be easier to do it in June or July. I can get a French dip from somewhere else and not have to wait. And I'm sure it's
Okay.
good. So we want to move on to our next topic. This is going to be a kind of a this or that, green or red flag, but we'll get into it. Dating in New York is already a sport. You add a restaurant into the mix and it becomes a full personality test. So Gabby, I don't know if you're ready for it, but it's time for fork yeah or fork no, where we go over green flags and red flags you only discover when you're on a date in a New York City restaurant. I'll go first. I'll hit you with the first one. We have not seen these questions before. They were sent to us, so we're gonna go back and forth. The first one I have for you is when you go on a date and someone researches the menu beforehand. Fork yeah or fork no?
I do that. So, green flag. I think if someone knows what they want ahead of time, that's great. I don't need to sit there with someone while they're trying to figure out what they're gonna get for like 20 minutes and maybe they're a bit indecisive. I think someone who researches the menu ahead of time is prepared. I think it's telling you in a broader sense that they are organized, they plan ahead, they're responsible.
Hmm.
I think that's all I have to say to that.
I would agree. I think there's only good things can come from researching the menu beforehand. Makes you look more kind of like I know what I want to the
You
waiter.
also don't need to share that though.
No, you don't. You don't even have to tell anyone.
Yeah. So that's totally fine. That's a fork, yeah.
Fork, yeah, I agree. Gabby, you
Okay.
want to go next?
Yeah. Someone is vegan. And sorry, vegans out there. I think we're both gonna have the same answer for this. It's not personal, but I guess it is.
My answer is fork, yeah, if it's someone's personal choice, no problem at all. My
Oh.
issue is when they force it onto others, right? So if you're the one asking someone on a date and you're like, "Hey, I'm vegan. Can we go to a vegan only restaurant?" That becomes a fork no to me. I think
Hmm.
because this is we're a meat heavy world. Like, let's be real, like steak, chicken, turkey. Like we all love. So
Yeah.
many people love meat. Not
Well,
everyone.
vegan even is any animal, so
Yeah,
eggs,
eggs, cheese. You're
yogurt,
right. Yeah, cheese.
anything with dairy. Yeah.
I just think you can't force someone to go to an only vegan restaurant if that's what you only eat. Like I think you have to be kind of nimble,
They
and
have to
ready to.
make do at regular
Yes,
dining facilities.
agreed. Yes. So
Okay,
fork
so I
yeah and
actually
fork
don't
no.
agree. I'm the harsher one for
Oh wow.
once. I don't love it. I don't think being vegan, I know you said it's fine if it's a choice. I don't know if anyone's born needing to be vegan unless they are allergic to every animal, which I guess is possible, but every vegan I've met, I feel like it was a choice.
Mm.
What do you agree with that, or maybe you don't have an opinion?
I have not met a lot of vegans. I've met a few. One I'm not going to
Really?
name on this podcast, but this individual did it. Just
Usually a choice.
started with a lunch just because they felt like eating meat was kind of gross, and they started with a
That's
lunch, and then they
fine.
started with a dinner. But without getting too into it, this person really does force it onto a lot of people. So
Okay,
I'll say no
okay.
to
So no, I don't like that. I just think being a vegan is really hard.
that. Hmm.
And even if they are not pushing it upon me, it's still gonna come up all the time.
Yep.
That's where I don't love that because obviously we're huge foodies, right? Say they went to a vegan went to Salt Hanks with us, they probably wouldn't have wanted to go,
You can only have the
right?
water. I guess you could have the fries. You could have the fries.
Actually, I saw everyone drinking. They had like a lemonade that was popular too, which we didn't
Oh,
mention, but we also didn't try it. Yeah, they could only have a beverage and fry. They
Yeah,
could have a fry.
they could have a
You know,
fry.
it just, I think it would be hard. And then we would be worried about them the whole time. What are they going to eat after this? Because, right, they're still hungry.
Hmm.
So I think it would just come up a lot and be really inconsistent. But that being said, if I met a vegan who really didn't make it a problem, was super flexible about it, that would be fine. Also, we like to share dishes. And I imagine with the vegan, we're not sharing many dishes
Mm-mm.
because I'm not a vegan. I am not a vegetarian. I would prefer a vegetarian to vegan. I still don't even love vegetarian.
I agree.
I love red meat.
Yeah. Chicken and steak, I don't think I could do without in my life. Or cheese for that matter. Anything with
My
it.
so my sister is a vegetarian, and it's sometimes I love you, Emmy. Sometimes it's really annoying because I wanted to bring her to Monkey Bar. I haven't been, but they're
When's the
known
last time
for
Emmy had steak or chicken?
she eats chicken, vegetarian. She
Oh,
doesn't
she
eat red
does.
meat.
Okay, she doesn't eat red.
Vegetarian is meat, no?
Yeah, I thought
Whatever.
it
I
was
guess
no
there's
meat.
a whole, we're not getting into all that because there's a million types of things.
Hmm.
But Emmy does not eat red meat. However, someone did get her a very special lucky person, got her to try it last year, and now she is beginning to try things. So I guess I don't even know if we could say she doesn't eat red meat. She usually 99% of the time she doesn't. But say we went to Monkey Bar, she wouldn't be able to eat any of the things I want to eat, and then
Yeah.
I can't get the burger and French dip to myself because I'm just not going to eat all that myself.
Mm. Okay, next one. Complains when there's bad service.
Fork, yeah. Oh, so for someone who's vegan, it's a fork no for me, and I
For
think
you.
a fork yeah for Josh. So
Bad service.
complaints, bad
I think
service is a fork yeah.
I think it's a fork no on a first date. It's a fork yeah after that. I think you kind of just have to put up with it on a first date. Like it's
It depends how bad it. Maybe let's like come up together. What is bad service in this scenario?
I think either they get your order wrong. Like to me, if they gave me the wrong order and it was still like something I could eat, I'd just think it's fine. I'm not gonna say anything.
I don't think I agree with that though, but bad service. Okay, I'm thinking bad service means they don't take your drink order for 20 minutes
Yeah, slow. That's slow.
and
Slow
getting
service.
the
Yeah.
check takes an hour.
Yeah. Slow service.
I don't know. I'm a complainer. I think complaining's half the fun. Depends how.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I'm going with a fork. Yeah, within limits. If they are respectfully complaining. Bob Martin, if you were listening, like, I think you respectfully complain, which is nice. Only wants to go to viral TikTok trending spots.
Fork, no. First date. Fork, if it's a 10th date. Like, I understand when Apollo was at its peak of popularity. I understand if someone's like, hey, as an activity, want to go try Apollo. I can get behind that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
if
yeah.
someone on a first date is like, hey, Salt Hanks, I don't want to wait outside with someone I don't know. Are you kidding me? No way.
Yeah, because if they're like not for you, right?
Disaster.
5 minutes into the line, that's a disaster.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, you're assuming though, with that question, sorry, I'm really semantics.
Yeah, you're really feeling it.
Are we assuming this viral place has a line? I
Yeah.
guess yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So on the first date, I'm gonna say fork no because of that line situation. Because 5 minutes into the date, you probably know if you want to spend more time with them. And 5 minutes, and you're already not into it, and you have another hour of the line to go, and then eating. That's a no. Fork
Hmm.
no.
Okay. Next one is orders for you without asking.
Fork no.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely not.
easy. Yeah, no way.
You don't even know what I like.
That doesn't show confidence. That's just like to me like so strange. If someone's like, "Yeah, she'll have this."
Yeah, why in movies do they make that seem like that's like a really romantic, manly thing to do?
I wouldn't even do that now because like I don't want to mess up someone's order. Like,
Right.
you know, it's
If
not I don't
someone
think
did
it's that
that to me,
respectful.
I think I would just be like, I don't like that.
Yeah,
Yikes. Fork, no.
work now.
What if someone, okay, so now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of people do drinks on a first date, so we're gonna maybe say second date for this one. What if they send back their dish?
F-
Let me
I'm gonna
start with fork, yeah.
I'm gonna say fork no on a first date. Fork yes, third
On a,
date or later.
Josh, I feel like you would send back your meals all the
I
time.
I would not. I would not do it if it was someone I didn't know. I would just make it's fine. Like I'm just gonna eat it.
It depends what it, if they bring you the wrong dish and you are willing to eat it, that's fine.
Mhm.
If I get, I don't know, a hamburger and it's freezing cold, I'm gonna say something.
Fair.
I like to advocate.
If this person is cool with bar seating instead of normal, tables.
Fork, yeah, I have absolutely no problem with that.
I'm gonna say fork meh. Yes
Wow.
or no?
That's
Depends
not a
on the vibe.
choice.
Depends on the place.
What's wrong with bar seating? Your
Nothing's
service is better usually.
nothing's wrong with bar seating, but I feel like on a first date, to me, it'd be easier to get to know someone at a table. Because like
Why?
also, first of all, I have a terrible side profile, and so I wouldn't want someone looking at me like from the side. Like I'd rather it be across the way. Just my 2 cents.
I have no words. I get it, but I don't think your side profile would be a deal breaker for someone.
And it
I
shouldn't
hope not.
be. But of course, on the first few dates, you always want to make sure you're looking your best.
Your best. Right. Turn to the side. I don't think you have a problem with your side profile, do
I
I?
just No, you don't. I just don't love mine.
Guys, we're checking each other's side profiles out. I I get it. And I'm gonna go with fork, yes. Your fork, meh, which I don't I'm gonna say you're not allowed to give that answer. So you gotta
Okay.
give a yes or no.
Okay. So fork, no.
What about they okay. You're on a second date and it's sushi and they use their hands to eat the sushi.
Fork, no. Don't one ask someone on a date if you don't know how to use chopsticks. But on the flip side, don't agree to a sushi date if you don't know how to use chopsticks. That said, if you do go, you don't order sushi, order noodles or rice or something else. You always, I don't care what it is. You can't order sushi if you don't know how to properly use a chopstick on the early dates. Now, Jillian and I, we can, but first
Wait,
10
you do
dates, you can't.
that?
No, I don't. I know how to use chopsticks.
I don't know how I feel about this one. So say you get asked on a sushi date, right? You don't know how to use chopsticks. What do you say back to that?
Well, I think you have to lie and say I'm down, but just not get sushi when it comes time to
Right.
order.
Because I actually think it's a fork no if you respond saying or like text back, I can't use chopsticks. That's
Yeah.
bad. Don't do that.
Yeah. Agreed.
What if you use a fork for your sushi? So and you're really self-aware about it. You're like, I know it's
That's
weird.
funny. I think that's okay. If you're
I think that's okay
self-aware,
too.
can make a joke about it. Oh, like I just never learned or it's too hard for me.
You need to be
Fine.
self-aware.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Next for you is if someone cares more about the vibes than the food on a first date.
For a first date, I think that's okay.
Agreed.
Because you're usually not getting food anyway.
Agreed.
We can agree on a fork,
Work,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But if that is a trend over time, proceed with caution.
Vibes are more important on the first few dates than food, I think.
Yeah, why?
Sets the tone.
I agree. That makes sense.
But like,
Okay.
we're not a dating podcast, but like, hey, if Alana Dunn from Seeing Other People's watching this or whatever other dating podcasts there are, we met at Acme. Feel free to come on and give us your food take.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Okay. So next up, we have a really special segment we are excited about. So we had the opportunity to sit down with Benji from Benji's Buns, which is he's the owner and founder of the new cinnamon bun shop in the West Village that rotates its flavors every week. And instead of just having a fixed menu like lots of cinnamon roll places do, they focus on making a small number of rotating buns each week. So we had the chance to interview him and we talk about how he got the idea to open and how they decide on flavors each week. So here is our exclusive interview with Benji.
The founder of Benji's Buns here in New York City. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks so much for having us on
Thank
and in
you.
the shop. So we have a few questions for you, and the first being very basic: why cinnamon rolls?
I think New York and America is missing someone who specializes in cinnamon rolls. Particularly, we have a rotating menu every week. We change the flavors, and I suppose there's a big gap in the market for that right now.
So tell us why cinnamon rolls are like your favorite dessert or like the story behind like why cinnamon rolls. I know we kind of asked that.
Yeah, no. For me, they were very much a comfort food. A couple of years ago in the pandemic, I had a very serious eating disorder, and so for me, cinnamon rolls were something that I felt comfortable baking with and eating.
Wow.
Yeah, and I suppose that was something that I wanted to then turn into a business.
That kind of went along with our next question. Like, how did this turn into a business?
Yeah, I think initially I was a realtor and was kind of juggling that with at the time being ill, and it was very much that baking at home. And I know many people were baking at home in the pandemic, but yeah, baking at home was something that gave me a lot of comfort and got me back into food and eating. And yeah, I suppose that was kind of like how I started the business.
The New York City dessert scene is like insane. Obviously, every block you go, there are these trending places, these viral places. So my first question is, what do you think sets Benji's Buns apart? And then two, how do you look at those? Do you look at them as competitors, or do you look at them as kind of just additive to the New York City food scene?
I think it's interesting when you use the word competitor, because I would argue we don't have competition. We are the only ones who have a weekly rotating menu. We bake the trays fresh every hour. Our branding, the feel, the look of the place is completely unique to other bakeries. All of our buns are served warm for our customers, which is very rare that any bakery, even those that sell cinnamon rolls, don't do that. I'd say we're very, very unique in that regard.
So you mentioned you're constantly rotating flavors. Where do those ideas come from? How are they tested? Is it just straight from you, or do you take inspiration from what you see online or what's trending right now?
It's a mixture of things. I'm quite a sporadic person, so I make them up on the spot. And, sometimes I'll literally have a dream at night, and that will be where the flavor comes from. I mean, simple things like, I used to live in Dubai, and so the Dubai chocolate bun that we used to do was very much an inspiration that I had from living there. We did a Barbie bun, and we kind of tied that in with the Barbie movie and Margot Robbie starring as Barbie. So it's those sort of trends and ideas that I try and link them to the new flavors coming out.
That is very cool. Once you create a flavor, how do you then decide, like, is this good enough to actually start selling this week?
Okay, so that's interesting, because, especially with pastries and flavors, everyone has such unique tastes, and what one person might love, another person hates, Really, it's the staff who help me with that. It's all of us will taste test something, and it's kind of a majority vote will go, right, if we think this is really good, then it's approved and it goes to market.
Is there ever a flavor that you guys are like split on?
We had a peppermint flavor that we released.
That is
at Christmas,
controversial.
and it was controversial because half the people absolutely loved it, and then the other half of the people, it wasn't that they didn't like the bun, it's, I think peppermint, you either love it or loathe it.
Yeah.
I can't stand peppermint.
Oh, I was going to ask you if you like peppermint.
Yeah,
you don't.
so, but then when I had it, it was so delicious, but I was like, again, it's not something I would order.
Right.
So that's probably been our most controversial.
Did it go like on the market?
It went to market, and I think it went to market because it was Christmas. That was something people did come in also asking, do we sell a peppermint flavor? So it wasn't something that we kind of just forced to the market, but it definitely did split the team down the middle. Yeah, it did surprisingly well, considering that 50% of people didn't like peppermint. Next Christmas, I probably wouldn't be introducing a peppermint. I would do something slightly different.
So if someone's visiting your shop for the first time, let's say this week, because I was looking at your flavors this week, and they're pretty damn good. What is the one flavor you'd say that someone has to get this week?
I usually advise people to go for the Lotus Biscoff. That's my favorite one, and I always joke that cures depression. That one is so good. It's amazing. But the star of the show this week, since we changed, is the tres leches.
That's what I'm excited to try.
Yeah, it's kind of the first time someone's merged a tres leches cake with a cinnamon roll, and it's really good.
How many flavors have you guys created?
I think now we have just gone over 100. We have over 200 in production.
What do you mean by in production? Like, are you baking these at home and you're just trying to figure this out? Like, what does that mean?
By in production, I mean we're developing the flavors as we speak. We're coming up with the ideas. We're brainstorming. We only release 6 in one go, so it's kind of, to get through 200 is going to take a while.
So since moving to the city, do you have any favorite go-to restaurants or spots that are just like amazing and you love?
There is actually one here in the village that I really love, which is Don Angie.
Yes.
Yeah, that was, I specifically love those cartwheel lasagna things they do. Yeah,
that's very good.
And I vividly remember going there with a friend, and the idea was to share that, and that didn't end up happening. So I had the whole thing for myself.
Do you think it's harder to operate a shop in New York or in London? And then what are those differences between the markets?
I would say it's probably 10 times harder to do it in New York. However, there's 10 times the opportunity that there is in London. I don't think London is somewhere where you would want to open a business now. Right. It's not business friendly. The only thing I would say with New York is there is a lot more opportunity, but the regulation is suffocating for any business here, because you have to jump through so many loopholes before you open a business.
Our account is called Fork This City. What we focus on is like honesty and transparency when we're doing reviews, because there's so many food accounts out there that are like, this was the best thing I ever had, and then like it wasn't really that good. So if there was a Fork This City flavor, what flavor profile fits like transparency, honesty? I think of more of like a clear frosting on top, almost like the original.
I think, look, if you want the flavor that is like very basic but good, it's going to be the original glazed. You know, that I would say is
Yeah.
where you should base your review off. And I think that's the same with any business.
So now the original of Benji's Buns is now the Fork This City flavor. The official flavor of Fork This City. Do you still like eating cinnamon buns?
I do, yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if you get sick of it or
No,
enjoy it.
What I do is I have like a small bit every day.
Yeah,
And so it's different than like having 2 or 3 and then you're like, oh, too much, you know. No,
Yeah.
I mean, and I always love to have it, not only because I love it, but I love doing the taste quality testing, you know. I think it's more of a dessert. I think that
agreed.
was what was missing in New York for so long, was having something that you could come like late at night or in the afternoon. Like all the bakeries closed. There's so many restaurants and places where like they're popular because of that one thing on their menu.
Yeah. Like Don Angie.
Yeah, you know, that is why they're popular.
Right.
And it's not to say that the other stuff isn't good, but like I said, they really nailed one thing. And I think that's what we're doing here, is we're going, look, we only do cinnamon rolls, but we do the best cinnamon rolls in the city. So here is our vanilla frosted. That's made with a cream cheese frosting. Then we've got my favorite, which is the cookie butter, Lotus Biscoff.
Yum.
We've got the espresso martini.
Oh, wow.
Then the original glazed.
Oh, yeah.
Then we've got the Black Forest Gatto cake.
That's calling my name.
And then our Tres Leches cake.
Oh, my
This is like our
goodness.
New Year's menu to kind of ring in 2026.
Wow.
See, that original really is just honesty and transparency. That's the vibe, right? That is the vibe I am getting. Josh is going to tell Benji our business plan. Maybe you can come in on it.
With restaurants, I always have an issue that sometimes they under communicate, and like if my food's taking a long time, no, not a big deal. Just tell me when. So the whole point of transparency would be we would over communicate with customers to the point of exhaustion. Like, do you want more water? Do you 2 minutes, 1 minute to your food, 30 seconds to your food? Like, I want to know everything that's going on. Like, they'd be like, your food just hit the grill. Like, the steak has 5 minutes to cook. And that's kind of the whole point of the restaurant, is to be annoying, but also like have amazing hospitality and great customer service. That's the concept.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because when we were first opening in July, we, as I said, we pride ourselves on baking a fresh tray every hour. And we used to have a perception that customers want things very quick. It's New York, they want it quick. Hurry up. And so we would tell people like, okay, be ready in 5 minutes, when it wasn't. It takes 20 minutes, you know? But now people don't mind waiting. They're happy to wait 20 minutes because they know they're getting something fresh and good quality. Like, I'm the same. I would happily wait 20 minutes if I knew I was getting the best cinnamon roll.
Thank you so much to Benji of Benji's Buns for joining us. He is our first ever Fork This City collab. Many more to come, but he'll always have a special place in our heart for joining us first. This has been episode 5 of Fork This City. You can follow us on Instagram at Fork This City Pod and at TikTok at Fork This City. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Follow, like, comment on all our things. We love you very much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and don't forget to fork up this city.
Oh yeah, fork it up.
Fork this city!